Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's BizLibrary webinar, BizAcademy Product Launch. We're super excited to showcase BizLibrary's newest product to you all to help develop leaders at every level. So we're going to go ahead and get started today with a few housekeeping notes. So welcome to all of you that are joining us. Your media player and slide window should already be open, but if you encounter any issues, sometimes a simple refresh of your browser is all you need. If you're still having trouble, please message me through the Q&A so that we do not distract others. Alternatively, you can click on the Help widget. It has a question mark icon and covers common technical difficulties. We'll be sure to get to all of your questions today through the Q&A chat box, so make sure that you send any of those in at any point throughout the webinar today, and we will answer them via that chat. And then lastly, make sure that you download any of our free resources in our resource widget. There's a couple links out to our site, as well as some of today's slides as well. So without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and introduce to you our presenters today. We have Paul Eschen, Chief Marketing Officer here at BizLibrary, and Erin Pinkowski, Chief Product Officer at BizLibrary. Erin and Paul, we are ready when you are.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Caroline. Appreciate the intro. And want to just say thank you all for joining us today. Just as kind of a housekeeping note, probably won't take longer than 30 minutes of your time today. Short and sweet, a little bit of background, introduce you to the product, answer some questions, and then be on our way. As Caroline mentioned, I am Paul Eschen, Head of Marketing at BizLibrary. And really appreciate you taking the time to learn more about the launch of our newest product to enter the BizLibrary family, BizAcademy. So we really love this concept of developing leaders at every level. I think you'll see today how our live instructor-led cohort academies are really designed to do just that, develop your leaders at every level in your organization. So feel free to send in your questions, as Caroline mentioned. As you think of them, we'll try to get them all answered at the end, if not kind of while we're presenting, as things come up. So before we dive into the details of the product specifically, I did want to take a few minutes to share a little bit more about how BizLibrary, for those of you who are new to Biz, share how we help our customers be wildly successful today. Okay, so BizLibrary is a true all-in-one L&D solution provider. We really exist to help organizations with three main challenges. First of those is fostering inclusive cultures. So we believe as a company in creating cultures of inclusivity and psychological safety. Organizations that tend to choose BizLibrary generally have a fundamental belief that creating environments based on employee values, right, where companies that see that their employee differences are celebrated and they believe that all of our differences actually make us stronger together. The organizations that believe that those differences will ultimately create more compassionate team members that are actually going to drive better business outcomes, those are the types of companies we love, and that's kind of how we help them foster inclusive cultures. We know that employees who feel that their mission, what makes them happy as human beings and as employees in your company, the things that, when their mission is aligned to the company mission, we know that they're much more engaged and much more productive at work. It's really a win-win. So the first thing we do is really helping our customers create world-class compliance and DEI and B programs. Next, we really help companies grow their organizational aptitude. Well, what does that mean? We love this word aptitude because aptitude actually means an individual's inherent talents and natural abilities. It's really our natural inclination or tendency, right? So you think about an aptitude for hard work, or they have a natural aptitude or ability. We like to think of aptitude as a special skill that you have that needs to be nurtured in order to flourish. It needs practice so that it can become muscle memory, right? So you can get better and better at it. So organizational aptitude is all about upskilling and reskilling your people. But specifically, it's really about an organization's ability to create space, right? To foster an environment where employees have capacity or really time built in for learning key skills that are going to make them more competent and productive in their roles. Those are our best clients that really understand and believe in that. And lastly, that leads us to why we're here today, developing strong leaders. So you could easily argue that this is the most important challenge that we help our customers with. Companies are struggling more than ever due to the Great Resignation and really the vast amount of macroeconomic change that's been going on over the last few years, with developing a strong leadership pipeline to not only help them build continuity in their organization, but also to grow, right? It's really hard to grow when you keep taking one step forward and two steps back. So if you're an organization who believes, which I hope many of you are here today do believe, that retention and development and growing your own people is a better option and solution than having to constantly hire from the outside, you've come to the right place. We're excited to share more about BizAcademy. So we really fundamentally believe that if we can help our clients with these three core challenges, we're doing our part to build a more competent and compassionate future. And that's really what we exist to do, right? To build out a more competent and compassionate future. The question is, who are we building out a more competent and compassionate future for? And yes, BizLibrary is an L&D provider, but why are all of us in this industry, right? We're in it to help people. And that all starts with helping human beings first, then thinking about them as employees in your organization, and then ultimately as leaders that you guys were able to foster, help grow in the organization, and then become leaders of those employees and of those human beings. It's a really, really important job. And, I think success in 23 is going to be really tied to organizations that think about it this way, and they understand that no longer is top-down mandated program leadership or L&D programs. That's really not the way of the future. With the last few years seeing employees and really kind of controlling work-life balance and controlling their own fate and what happiness at work looks like more than ever. So to summarize, what makes BizLibrary different and special, our biggest differentiator is that we have a suite of products designed to help you build programs, right? Yes, we do have content. We've got award-winning content. Yes, we do have award-winning platforms, but we really differentiate on helping our clients build world-class onboarding and DE&I programs that help employees feel connected to your brand, right? We build personalized upskilling programs to help your people feel more competent in their jobs. And lastly, and today, you'll learn more about how we already do this today. We've got an awesome set of content, specifically our Expert Insight series, which is really expert-led content, a lot of content coming directly from experts, CEOs, leaders in their field. But today you're going to learn about how we create cohort learning experiences for your most important leaders through BizAcademy. And we really like to think of BizLibrary and this evolution we've gone on. BizLibrary is a place you come to where learning happens. Learning and development are happening every day. And we provide you the roadmap and the blueprints on how to make your learning program successful. We don't just hand you over a software solution and say, good luck. So right before the holiday break, we conducted a survey of over 200 L&D leaders who responded. And so we asked them, what are the top three challenges that you face today? So none of these will be surprising you, but I think they're really salient. So you look at the number 3 answer, right, was employee engagement. So we talked about this a bit ago with that first bucket of really helping employees feel a connection to your company's culture and to the meaning in their everyday work. That's all about connection to culture and meetings. We talked about kind of that first big bucket. The second most common business challenge was employee retention. So this is really about creating opportunities to learn and grow. This is closely tied to upskilling and reskilling your people and enabling them to grow more competent in their role. A fascinating recent Microsoft survey found that employees in 2023 actually consider opportunities to learn and grow the number one driver of great work culture moving forward. You guys, that was number 9 just 3 short years ago. So think about that and think about what a cool time it is to be in the learning and development industry. Really, really cool. And then lastly, the number 1 challenge, and it's why I think all of you are here today, building a talent pipeline. That's really why we're here today, to talk about why is this such a challenge that everyone is focused and concerned about. So why are these top 3 challenges so important to focus on, and how are they, inevitably linked together? Think about it, right? We know that an engaged employee, a happy employee, is a more productive employee, right? We also know that productivity is a result of proper training and understanding of the job. These 2 factors, when high, lead to better retention of top talent and more development opportunities, specifically in leadership. Good leaders are good for L&D, right? I think more important than that, we know how detrimental bad leadership is to an organization. Bad leaders do not engage. They do not get the most out of their people, productivity, or retain and develop the next crop of great leaders. If I polled, how many people are in here today? If I polled over 150 people I see in here today, if I asked you, did your worst leader that you can think of in your professional career, did they believe in your personal and professional growth? the vast majority of you, I'd say at least 90%, would say, heck no, right? This would be a core reason that they are not a part of your work. Sorry, this would be a core reason why they are part of your worst boss example. It's just not something that they do. So how do we make sure that we're fostering and creating the right leaders? So 2 slides ago, I shared kind of what L&D professionals are currently focused on. Here's what they'd like to focus on in the new year, right? This is what 23 key focus areas are for L&D professionals. So you'll see here the top 2 focus areas across our survey group were leadership development and new manager training. So what's happening here with new managers? So we've actually been studying this a lot. And one big factor of why this is such a big focus for all of you out there is that COVID and the Great Resignation really did one thing. They pushed baby boomers into early retirement. And what that meant was that millennials have been thrown into important management roles with really no blueprint on how to lead effectively, right? Think about that. Remote work also hasn't helped this, right? So millennials aren't getting the on-the-job, day in, day out experience of observing good leaders in person that just 3 short years ago became such something that, we kind of took for granted and thought was a natural part of kind of growing in your organization. So our new leaders are honestly really suffering because of that. So we'll talk more about how kind of BizAcademy can help there in a few minutes. But with that, at BizLibrary, we are officially dubbing 2023 the year of the leader. Every trends article you read right now for this year and data like this really confirm that leadership development is the primary focus for 2023. And it's really about retaining and developing your top talent. One incredible change we're seeing since COVID, the past and future of management has just fundamentally shifted. We all have had this boss, right? We all recognize this guy. Some of us have been this boss, right? Where a good employee is really based on time in the office. Was your butt in your seat, right? Did your output show me that you're busy? It really used to be about micromanagement, and a good boss knew the ins and outs of the jobs better than anybody, right? That's why they were promoted. They did that job before. I think we're really seeing that leaders today do a few things differently. What do they do different? They manage results, right? They manage outcomes. They trust their people. They do this neat thing called micro-understanding. And that's really when they understand that the detailed job steps of each project that the team beneath them manages and how this fits together, so that they know that their people are busy and productive based on the micro-understanding of those jobs and what those look like, and measuring then the outcomes of the projects that they're working on. They don't need to micromanage to be successful, right? And most importantly, leaders of today will have amazing human skills. What are the human skills that we're talking about? Well, the rules of leadership have just fundamentally changed, right? So leaders post-COVID have to be much better at these kinds of skills. I'll call out specifically communication, authenticity, empathy. I think many of us will agree with this. Pre-COVID, if you are not good at these leadership skills, in a post-COVID world, those deficiencies are glaring, right? And an even bigger challenge, and they hurt engagement, productivity, and ultimately retention of your people. So the good news is, and one of the challenges, there is not a great roadmap for leaders on how to be an effective leader in the new world. The great news is BizAcademy really was created with this in mind. So I'll kick it over to Erin Pinkowski, our Chief Product Officer, to really share how BizAcademy helps organizations develop leaders at every level. Erin, thanks for joining us.
Awesome. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate it. And thank you to all of you for joining us today to learn more about BizLibrary's newest product offering. So with that being said, I am very excited to formally introduce you to BizAcademy. This concept of expert-led live training and coaching has been something that the product team at BizLibrary has been discussing for quite some time. So we're very excited to finally bring this concept to market within the BizLibrary solution with the launch of BizAcademy. So BizAcademy is our solution to this growing leadership development challenge that Paul touched on, and it will deliver premium, expert-led live learning experiences for leaders, new managers, high potentials within your organization, all delivered within a virtual classroom environment right within the BizLibrary platform. So no longer do you, L&D leaders, need to try and build these programs yourself, whether that's sourcing the content, sourcing the experts, or having to rely on another third party for these programs. So with BizAcademy, you can enroll your learners and leave the leadership development up to us and our growing network of leadership development experts. So BizAcademy's online leadership mastery programs will consist of small, intimate cohorts ranging anywhere from 10 to 20 learners per session, and will include live discussions and group coaching sessions led by experts in their field. The programs will include different opportunities for practice, peer-to-peer learning, as well as ongoing networking opportunities for leaders within your organization to be able to build new career contacts outside of your organization. The learning experience itself will equip your leaders with the tools and confidence they need to effectively manage and lead within your organization. At the end of the programs, the attendees will understand how to apply their skills in real life situations, leading to successful outcomes and that true behavioral change that we're really looking for. So again, all of those sessions will be delivered within the Biz LMS, and attendees will have access to a BizAcademy dashboard, which will serve as the central location for all of the different resources included within the program. So within that dashboard, they'll be able to view information about the experts, access their assignments, as well as that's where they'll take the pre and post assessments for those programs. They'll be able to launch their live classroom sessions directly from here, as well as access additional support materials. We'll also have a discussion forum that they'll be able to participate in with other members of their cohort. So we'll be offering two different types of programs in terms of length. So we'll have a 16-week certificate program and then a more targeted 4-week focus program. Our 16-week certificate options will include New Manager Fundamentals as well as Leadership Essentials. The New Manager Fundamentals course will target high potentials or individuals that are somewhat newer to their management role. The Leadership Essentials program is targeted for all types of leaders that really are looking to take their skills and their teams to new levels. We'll also offer the 4-week focus programs, and we currently have experts lined up on the topics of remote leadership and one on executive leadership. So our 16-week academy, specifically New Manager Fundamentals, this academy will be led by Kevin Eikenberry and Guy Harris. Kevin is the founder and chief potential officer of the Kevin Eikenberry Group and has spent 30 years helping organizations and leaders from over 50 countries be more effective. His books include Remarkable Leadership, From Bud to Boss, The Long Distance Leader, and most recently, The Long Distance Teammate. Guy Harris, he is a master trainer and coach in the DISC model of human behavior, as well as a workplace conflict resolution expert. He co-authored the book From Bud to Boss, Secrets to the Successful Transition with Kevin Eikenberry, and he also released the Remarkable Leadership book. He's also the host of Talk Like a Leader podcast. So through 4 separate modules, this academy will focus on building skills like creating effective working relationships, understanding the difference between managing, leading, as well as driving change, and understanding the leader's role in creating collaboration. Each 16-week academy will be broken into 4 4-week modules, so which we're referring to as skill blocks. So each skill block is structured the same. In the first week, the learner will have access to a pre-recorded session by the expert, along with some additional assignments to complete. The next week, the learner will attend a live session led by the expert to discuss the content alongside the other members of their cohort. Then the learners will complete some practice assignments, which will allow them to prepare for the last week, which will be marked by a live group coaching session, again, led by the expert. Each module will focus on a different topic. So for New Manager Fundamentals, Kevin will be kicking off the academy with the module of transitioning to your new role. Then Guy Harris will instruct learners on how to better manage change within their teams. Modules 3 and 4 will focus on coaching and feedback and collaboration and teamwork, respectively. A learner participating in the program can expect to spend anywhere from 3 to 4 hours or have 3 to 4 hours of content per 4-week skill block, which will again be divided amongst those live sessions, on-demand content, and practice exercises. So our second offering, the 16-week academy, which will be Leadership Essentials, will be led by a different expert for each of the 4 modules. So Kevin Eikenberry will kick things off with the first module on mindsets of leadership. Then Karen Hurt and David Dye will begin the module on leadership communication. So Karen and David, they are the CEO and president of Let's Grow Leaders, which is an international leadership development and training firm known for practical tools and leadership development programs that stick. They're award-winning co-authors of 4 books, including Courageous Cultures, How to Build Teams of Micro-Innovators, Problem Solvers, and Customer Advocates, and the book Winning Well, A Manager's Guide to Getting Results Without Losing Your Soul. They also host the popular Asking for a Friend video blog on LinkedIn. Scott Moutz will then take over with the module Leading Change Effectively. Scott is a former Procter & Gamble senior executive who successfully ran some of the company's largest multi-billion-dollar businesses. He's a 3-time award-winning author, including his latest book, Leading from the Middle, a playbook for managers to influence up, down, and across the organization. Scott is also on the faculty at Indiana University's Kelley School of Business for Executive Education and has been named a CEO Thought Leader by Chief Executives Guild. The last module will be led by Meredith Elliott Powell, and she'll be teaching learners how to create a culture of feedback and use listening as a foundation for progress. Meredith is an award-winning author, keynote speaker, and business strategist. And with a background in corporate sales and leadership, her career expands over several industries, including banking, healthcare, and finance. She's also a certified speaking professional and a member of the prestigious Forbes Coaching Council. So as you can see, we have an impressive lineup of experts with many years experience ready to lead these academies and help develop leaders within your organization. So the structure of the 16-week academy for Leadership Essentials will be the same as for each module, using the pre-recorded session and 2 live meetings, where each expert will then give learners a unique chance to grow their skills. Kevin Eikenberry's module will give learners the ability to describe why mindset is important to their success as a leader, and he'll present 5 specific mindsets that they can use to strengthen their leadership style. With Karen Hurt, attendees will learn how to share their ideas so they're more likely to be heard and ask better questions to facilitate problem solving. Scott Moutz will give tools such as the 5 C's of change leadership. He'll also touch on some change burning questions as well as change readiness assessments. And then Meredith Elliott Powell will end things with, she'll give learners a hands-on experience implementing tools so they're ready to give effective feedback in their roles as leaders. We also have a 4-week academy that we'll be launching, which will be led by remote work consultant Mike Gutman. And he'll be leading this 4-week academy on remote leadership. Mike Gutman has been leading remote teams for 15 years, and as a former marketing director of FlexJobs, Mike has helped connect the value of flexibility to employer strategy and job seekers, including running corporate conferences on remote work strategy for Fortune 100 companies. He currently works on remote workforce development projects and consults corporate leadership teams about their remote and hybrid work models. Throughout Mike's Academy, he'll give learners the tools they need to develop a results-based culture, support employee health and wellness in a remote environment, as well as improve overall team communication and collaboration regardless of location. So the 4-week program will include similar components to just one skill block of a 16-week academy, and will again include 3 to 4 hours of learning divided amongst on-demand content, live discussions, and group coaching. So similar to the 16-week program, learners will complete a pre and post assessment to measure their skill development and will also receive a certification of completion for their participation. So now I just want to spend a few minutes giving you an inside look at the platform itself to understand how the academies will be delivered to your learners and what that learning experience will look like. So as I mentioned earlier, learners enrolled in the program will have this central hub within the BizLibrary platform to access all of the resources included within the academy. So from this homepage, they'll be able to learn more about the expert, their bio. They'll be able to flip through and again, access, be able to connect with those experts on social media for further networking later down the road. They'll be able to access all of their assignments, whether that's the different resources that are part of the kickoff program, or additional support materials that the expert is including within that program. From here, they'll be able to launch their live sessions, complete their pre and post assessment, as well as participate in a discussion forum with other members of their cohort. So they'll be able to pose questions to where the expert can reply, other members within their cohort can reply, and really continue that conversation, all directly from this homepage. So the live sessions will be facilitated using BizLibrary's recent released virtual classroom feature. So within the live sessions, attendees will be able to meet the individuals within their cohort, start building their network, and learning from their peers. With features such as polling, we're able to ensure the sessions are as interactive as possible, maximizing the amount of engagement and learning that's taking place. And with, sorry, I went too fast. With live chat, attendees will be able to share their ideas, contribute to the session, as well as pose questions to their cohort. And lastly, I really think the biggest benefit and most important component of these academies comes just from the live instruction in general. Many leadership development certificate programs, they feature on-demand content and lack the opportunity for participants to participate in live sessions and receive live coaching directly from the expert throughout the course of the program. With BizAcademy, the live coaching and feedback was a must-have component for these programs and will definitely lead to much better results for your leaders. So we do have enrollment now open for our different offerings. So we'll offer 2 sessions for New Manager Fundamentals, which will meet on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. This will be kicking off on February 21st. And then we'll also have our Leadership Essentials, which will be offered on Wednesdays, starting on February 22nd with a 10 a.m. or a 2 p.m. Central option. So individuals within a cohort would attend that same time frame every week based off of the program that they've been enrolled in. February 23rd will mark the kickoff for our 4-week remote leadership program with Mike Gutman. And again, we'll include 2 time options at 11 a.m. and a 2 p.m. Central. We are also currently in the works of releasing a more senior leadership 4-week program. Gabriele Parente, she is a keynote speaker, 2-time published author, and a leadership and diversity expert, has just signed on to lead a 4-week academy for senior leaders. This academy will kick off at the end of March 30th specifically, and we'll be sharing more details regarding the learning objectives and key outcomes for this program. We'll be sharing those in the coming days, so please keep an eye out for more information on that program. And then in May, we'll also start another round of cohorts for our New Manager Fundamentals and Leadership Essentials academies. So if you have leadership development needs that you anticipate later in the year, as soon as more dates are added to the calendar, we'll be adding those to our website, as well as sending those dates out via email from the marketing team. So please keep an eye out as more dates will be added to the calendar very soon. Lastly, I wanted to cover a few more details regarding pricing for the programs as well as our access model. So we're very excited to go to market with our introductory pricing that's very competitive with the market. We'll be starting with our 16-week academy. We will be priced at $3,500 per seat per learner, and then $1,500 for a 4-week academy. Pricing will also vary based off of the amount of seats being purchased. We also are requiring a 5-seat minimum for any purchase, whether that's a 4-week or a 16-week. Learners will be participating with individuals from different organizations, which we're referring to as a mixed cohort. However, we are offering a buyout option if there are organizations that prefer to have a program that's specific just to your group of leaders within your organization. All of the sessions will be recorded and made available on demand. We know that there is sometimes maybe some scheduling challenges, but those sessions will be recorded, and a learner, if they are not able to make a session or something comes up last minute, we will make those available so they can access them at a later time. They'll also have access to the platform for 2 months following the program, so they can still have time to get in and catch up on any resources, maybe that they wanted to rewatch or continue to practice after the completion of the program. We'll have some progress reporting available that'll be made available throughout the program. So you'll have the opportunity to check in and understand, your learners' participations in the program. And then We'll be sending that out most likely probably every month for a 16-week program, and then probably halfway through for a 4-week program. As well as at the end of the program, we'll also be sharing the pre and post assessments. So again, you can measure the skill development that is happening with your individuals that are participating. All right. Paul, I'm going to go ahead and pass it back over to you, as that is what I had planned to cover within the session today. We can go ahead if there's any questions that came through that we haven't had a chance to address. I'm happy to address those once you kind of get through your boost update.
Sure thing. Yeah, great job. So one other note for this audience, if you may have attended our inaugural Boost conference last year, we actually did it in May in 2022. That was all focused on the future of upskilling and reskilling. This year, as we mentioned, it's the year of the leader. It's an entire 2-day virtual industry conference focused on the future of leadership development. So the dates for that are roughly 2 months from now, March 22nd and 23rd. And you will be receiving this session on demand, as well as a registration link to the Boost conference, which is 100% free. So we would love to see you and encourage you to forward it on and invite your colleagues and your teammates as well. So stay tuned for that. Very, very excited. We've got a great lineup of presenters, all focused on how do we, create and cultivate better leaders in our organizations. So with that, we do have, Erin, a couple questions I'll share with you. You were just speaking to kind of the details of the cohort, the mixed cohort versus the buyout. Question from Jennifer: how many people are in a given cohort?
We're targeting anywhere from 10 to 20 individuals within a cohort. We want to keep it. We want to keep it in smaller groups to ensure that the engagement is as high as possible. So we would expect anywhere between 10 and 20.
Great. And then Jim asked, if we are a current client of BizLibrary, but we don't use your LMS, but download your content to our own system, is this something that we can take advantage of?
Yes, absolutely. So if you're not using our platform today, but have learners that want to participate in the BizAcademy program, access to the platform would be included within that license fee. So we would set your learners up with access to the BizLibrary LMS to participate in the BizAcademy program.
Perfect. And then someone asked, just to clarify, did you say that the minimum seat purchase is 5, or did I hear that incorrectly?
That is correct. 5. Yes, 5 is the minimum seat purchase.
Follow-up question: for a buyout option, how many seats do you need to purchase?
That's 20 seats for a buyout option.
Okay. Rapid fire. I found some more questions in here. And then Colleen asked, what is the overall time commitment per learner?
We're expecting for a 16-week program, we're expecting about 3 to 4 hours per month so you have 4 skill blocks. So anywhere, probably up to 16 hours throughout the length of a 16-week program. For a 4-week program, we're expecting about 3 to 4 hours per learner.
Great. And a follow-up question from Jennifer, and I think a good opportunity, Erin, to kind of talk through if they sign on with BizAcademy, how they can use that throughout the year. She said, is that a 5-seat minimum per company, as in our company would need to buy at least 5 seats, or is it 5 seats minimum to run the course?
It's a 5-seat minimum. You can purchase seats and then allocate them allocate them to different programs throughout the year. So if you want to purchase 5 seats and you have 2 individuals that you want to participate in the new manager program that kicks off in February, you can apply 2 seats there, and then you can apply the remaining 3 to another program that's happening later in the year. Those seats just have to be applied within the contractual year that you purchase them. Great question.
Yeah, so if you bought your 5 seats for the year, you could have two leaders go through new manager training. They could be a part of a cohort with 5 other organizations who each sent 2 to 3 people. That would really be that cohort learning environment. You could also, separately maybe do a buyout for an entire cohort for leadership essentials if you wanted.
Yes, correct.
Is CPE credit offered for any of the courses?
Not currently, but that is something that we'll be looking into.
Do you want to speak to, we've talked about the max size of a cohort, just the minimum size that a cohort could be?
I would say that we would expect to have about 10 or so individuals as the minimum.
Perfect. Okay, any other questions from the audience?
And one thing I just wanted to comment on, Paul, I know if we want to put the poll up, if you're interested in learning more about BizAcademy, you can complete the poll here. We also have a survey at the end of the session that'll be made available once the session closes out. We will be sending up a follow-up information, which will include a recording to this. But again, if you have any questions, please feel free. You can visit our website to complete the form. And again, we'll be sending out, as more dates are available, we'll be sending out further communication on those.
Awesome. Well, I think that's it. Thank you all so much for your time. Again, we will be sending out a follow-up email with a recording of this session that you can share, as well as an invitation to Boost in 2 months. So thanks again for your time, and everyone have a great week.
Thank you so much.